This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with some startling statistics that we're hearing from the new IMPD police chief. We have learned that crime and non-fatal shootings are up in this Circle City. This is all from numbers that were gathered in 2019. Now, we did see a decrease in homicides, but many of these homicides remain unsolved.
Yeah, so we're looking into what homicides have been solved, what haven't, the rate of that, and a number of other numbers. So some went up, some went down. What does this mean? We're going to hear from the new police chief, and he's going to break that down for us this morning. Obviously important to anyone who lives here in central Indiana. Another story we have for you today, this one's kind of eye-opening. It's an issue that a lot of us would say that doesn't happen here. It's something that we don't see out in the open.
Right, but it does happen. And our Kelsey Anderson is sitting down with a woman who is sharing her powerful story about human trafficking. She was trafficked by her very own mother when she was a young girl, only 11 years old. So she's talking about the signs of what people can look out for, and oftentimes we think it's strangers that are taking part in something like this, but it can be family members. It can be someone who is close to a young person. So we're going to hear from her during Human Trafficking Awareness Month here, so people kind of know what to look out for.
Yeah, because there are some signs of this happening, and we can all do our part to keep our eyes open. We do want to change gears right now, bring in our own Todd Clausen and talk about the forecast today. Todd, later today, right, is when things are starting to change a little bit.
Yeah, well, one change, as soon as you walk out the door, you notice it's a lot warmer.
Yeah,
it's in the 30s compared to the teens. So you notice that, first of all. And it's dry right now, but you do notice on the far left-hand side of Storm Team 6 radar there is a little snow that is not reaching the ground, and it's basically moving from south to north. So it's not out of the question. Some of our far western counties, you could see a few snowflakes here this morning, no accumulation. And those temperatures, as we mentioned, in the 30s, they'll climb pretty quickly throughout the day today, and we'll get up to about 45 degrees. Now, most of today, at least during the daylight hours, will be dry. It's probably not towards the evening commute. Some scattered showers will move in, but the steadier rain doesn't arrive until later on this evening. But once it does start, it's with us almost throughout the entire day tomorrow.
All right, Todd. Thank you very much.
Another story we have for you today is in our Throwback Thursday, and there's this iconic ice cream shop down in Columbus, Indiana, Saharaco's, and we're looking back at the history of that and actually going to see a story that RTV6 did back in 1980. So looking forward to seeing that. This is a place I've always wanted to go and just haven't made it down there. So maybe after watching this, we'll all want to take a trip to this Indiana icon.
And now I want ice cream regardless.
Right?
We'll have that plus more coming up.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, a suspect is in the hospital this morning after allegedly leading police on a chase. What officers say led up to the incident.
And new data from IMPD shows that shooting numbers are down, but there are still some serious problems to deal with. We're working for you this morning, finding out how the department's new police chief plans to address the issue.
And there is a dire need for mentors to encourage and empower the youth of Indianapolis. We'll tell you how you can get involved with the group that helps hundreds of kids in our community. 4:30 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is with us early this morning to break down our Thursday forecast. Todd, what do people need to know today?
You know, it's a little bit warmer. That's the good news after several really chilly days. But we also bring rain back into the forecast, and that is going to arrive later on today. Now, you do notice if you look really, really closely here on Storm Team 6 radar, there are a few snow showers on the far western portion of the state. A lot of that's not reaching the ground. It's probably nothing more than a flurry. And these snow showers, they're actually moving from south to north across the area. They're not progressing too much off towards the east. So most of us get to work just fine here this morning. Even if you do travel off to the west or you live in those western areas, you're not going to see any accumulation. That is the good news. But as we expand out, you can see all this precipitation extends well down to our south. And this eventually will make its way into our area. The air is very dry, though, so so it's going to take a while for this rain to start to get going across the area. Temperatures right now hovering around freezing, 32 in Indy, 33 in Bloomington, 30 in Crawfordsville. But these temperatures will moderate quite nicely here throughout the day today. And by the time we get to this afternoon, we will be in the mid-40s. So obviously temperatures in the mid-40s. Anything that falls at that point will just be rain. 4 p.m., just a stray shower or two in the area. Then the steadier rain will arrive later on this evening. We'll talk more about that and look ahead to your weekend as well coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time right now, though, is 4:32. Let's get you updated on the roadways with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Here is a live look right now in Greenfield, I-70 here in State Road 9. You can see we have a stalled semi there on one of the ramps, but overall traffic is moving along up to speed. No issues to slow you down. So let's take a look right now over on the east side, I-70 and Post Road. You can see traffic is pretty quiet out that way this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated on any issues. Here at 4:32, a construction project downtown in Indianapolis will last longer than they first thought. Citizens Energy Group says sewer rehab work on Pennsylvania Street is going to continue into early next week. Right now, 3 lanes are closed between New York and Washington. The agency says one of those lanes is scheduled to open this afternoon.
A shooting suspect is in the hospital this morning after allegedly leading police on a chase on the west side of Indianapolis. Police say the suspect crashed around 10 last night near West Vermont Street and Gasoline Alley. According to IMPD, the chase started after a shooting that took place earlier in the night on Beachway Drive. Both the suspect and the victim are expected to survive. The incident is now under investigation. But if you have any information on either of these incidents, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers.
Charges have been dismissed against a man in a 25-year-old murder case. Carl Tyler was charged in the 1995 murder of Tammy Serber. Her body was found near the side of the road in the 1200 block of South Bade Road in Indianapolis's east side. An autopsy then found the cause of death to be strangulation, along with other wounds. Results of a DNA test led police to Tyler back in 2011, but evidence wasn't conclusive, so no charges were filed. Then last year, investigators got a break in the case, leading to the arrest and charging of Tyler. Problems with the evidence forced the prosecutor to drop the charges.
Working for you this morning, we're taking a closer look at new data that shows more people are getting shot and fewer homicides are being solved in Indianapolis. 2019 saw a drop in a number of crimes, including homicide, robbery, aggravated assaults, burglary, and vehicle theft. While the criminal homicide rate dipped slightly lower, the number of non-fatal shootings and shooting victims is on the rise. In 2019, there were 452 non-fatal shootings, injuring 524 people, a 7% increase in victims compared to 2018. We spoke with IMPD's new chief, Randall Taylor, to get his take on these stats.
We've got some work to do. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I think we're moving in the right direction. But I'm still concerned with the violence numbers.
Chief Taylor also discussed new initiatives like the Crime Gun Intelligence Center as a way to decrease violent crime. The department also plans to add more officers and decrease the size of the area they're patrolling. That means officers will have a better chance to get to know smaller neighborhoods.
It is 4:35. A bill that would allow schools to pay for weapons training for school employees is making its way through the State House. Senate Bill 263 would divert money from the Safe Schools grant. Those funds could then be used to pay for specialized weapons training for employees. Under the proposal, employees who wish to be armed on school property must complete at least 8 hours of training every year, provide proof of training, and complete an evaluation and have authorization from that school.
And a bill that would make it illegal to hold your phone while driving is headed to the full House. It would not affect mounted phones, Bluetooth, or speakers. Right now, Indiana has a law that prohibits texting while driving, but police say that law is unenforceable. So this new bill would expand the current law. Currently, 21 states have a hands-free law, including Tennessee and Illinois.
January is National Mentoring Month, and one of the biggest mentorship organizations in the country is in need of volunteers in our community. Big Brothers Big Sisters says 1,200 kids are waiting for matches right now. 70% of them are boys. Doug Shreve and Will Ramey, who were first matched several years ago, say relationships formed through the program can continue even when those littles grow up.
He showed me that the worldly view of what a man is, it isn't necessarily what a man truly is, you know. And I feel like without that influence in my life, things may have been a lot different.
The relationship started with just the two of us, and then my wife came on board, Will has seen all of our sons be born. I've seen his kids born.
Well, to learn more about how to apply or what the process is like to become a big brother or a big sister, you can go to theindychannel.com and just click on that story.
Coffee giant Starbucks is bringing its Black Partner Network to Indianapolis. The goal is to improve the company's diversity and inclusion practices. The network kicked off this week in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Starbucks Regional Director Deshaun Jackson says it's part of a constant effort to include all customers who come through Starbucks doors.
Yeah, we have a Black Party Network that is across all of our states, but we kicked off the local chapter here in Indiana today. But we have so many different networks, in our organization. We have the Pride Network, we have the Women's Network, we have the AFN Network for any of our military partners. So it's just many different opportunities for all of our partners to participate. So this is just one of many of the networks.
In 2018, the company revitalized their diversity and inclusion efforts after a racial profiling incident that took place in a Philadelphia store.
Today, Mayor Joe Hogg said we'll give an update on the city's efforts to improve fairness in awarding contracts to women and minority business owners. The disparity study was announced last year. The goal was to see if minorities, women, and disabled business owners face discrimination when trying to open up shop here in Indianapolis. The results of the year-long study will be revealed this morning at 10 a.m.
We're following developing news out of Seattle, Washington, where the investigation into a deadly mass shooting is now underway. What authorities say led up to the event and why the community has been on high alert for days.
And Uber is piloting a program that lets drivers set their own rates. How much more or less you could be paying.
And as we go throughout the course of the day today, we are going to see some rain make its way into the area. You can see the storm system stretches all the way from Wisconsin down to the Gulf Coast. We're going to be dealing with rain for quite a while once it starts across the area, maybe mixing with a little snow at times. We'll lay it all out for you coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:38. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
IndyChannel.com.
Welcome back. The time right now is 4:41. Here's a live look right now. Your commute on the south side, I-465, a view from Madison Avenue. Traffic is pretty quiet, still traveling up to speed. No delays, no crashes to report around the metro area at this early hour. Developing this morning in Seattle, police are looking for multiple suspects involved in this deadly shooting last night at the city's central business district. Police believe that the shooting stemmed from some sort of argument. Multiple people reportedly pulled out guns, sending dozens running for cover. One woman was killed. At least 7 others, including a 9-year-old boy, were injured. This is just the latest in a string of violence across Seattle. Hours before the incident, a 28-year-old man was shot and injured by police. And on Tuesday, another shooting left a 55-year-old man dead. Authorities say right now they don't believe the shootings are connected.
Panic this morning in China as the government has placed a ban on travel in Wuhan. All buses, the subway system, ferries, and the airport have been locked down. The city of 11 million people is considered the epicenter of the new coronavirus outbreak that has killed 17 and infected nearly 600, including an American man. Coronaviruses are a large group of viruses common among animals that can be spread to humans. Right now, there are no vaccines to protect against this family of viruses, but health officials in the U.S. are working on one to combat the Wuhan coronavirus.
Turning now to Washington, where opening arguments in the impeachment trial of President Trump are underway. Democrats have started to lay out their case, giving a detailed timeline of events from the whistleblower report to the opening of the investigation. Lead House Manager Representative Adam Schiff ending the day by saying if the president isn't held accountable, it will set a dangerous precedent for the future.
There is no remedy for such a threat but removal from office of the President of the United States. If impeachment and removal cannot hold him accountable, then he truly is above the law.
Today, Schiff says House managers will lay out the constitutional framework for why President Trump's alleged abuse of power is grounds for his removal from office.
Meanwhile, 21 attorney generals, including Indiana's Curtis Hill, have signed a letter asking the Senate to throw out the articles of impeachment against President Trump. Hill traveled to Washington yesterday to make his case. He also wrote an op-ed earlier this month criticizing the impeachment investigation. Hill describes the articles of impeachment as fundamentally flawed.
At 4:44, a grandmother in California is hoping to brighten someone's day and strengthen relationships. Terry Chamberlain is the creator of Grandma in a Box. The grandmother of 4 said that she was scared of losing her connection with her grandkids when they had to move out of state. So she downloaded Skype and would send her grandkids baked cookies with frosting and sprinkles. When friends started hearing about this, they wanted their grandma in a box, and her business was born. But for Terry, it's not about the money. Success is bringing generations together.
It's so hard at Christmas time or their birthday to buy them a gift if you don't know them very well. I think kids do need a connection with their grandparents.
Customers can subscribe for a box for just $20 a month. The cookies come pre-baked with icing and sprinkles and other decorations, as well as a special note from Terry. Everyone can use a Grandma Terry in their life, I think. That's kind of a fun idea.
And it doesn't get better than a homemade sugar cookie.
I agree, with frosting and sprinkles. All right, Todd. Do you have any treats for us in the forecast today?
You know, there's always a trade-off, it seems, right? So the treat is the fact that it's going to be above normal today. We're getting into the 40s for most of you, so it's warmer than it has been. The not-so-good part of the forecast is we'll be dealing with precipitation later on today. And there's a few flurries already this morning here on the western side of the state. Crawfordsville over towards Rockville and Veedersburg. Most of this probably not reaching the ground, so that's why I called it flurries and not snow showers, because basically it's just working its way from south to north right along the Illinois-Indiana state line. This is not really progressing much to the east, so almost all of us here get to work with probably no precipitation at all in the forecast. And for those of you that see a flurry, it's really not going to hinder your drive to work this morning or the kids heading off towards the bus stop. And I showed you this yesterday. This whole system was just off to our west. It's just slowly creeping its way eastward, and it's going to still take most of the day to make it into our area. So for the most part today, at least during the daylight hours, it is going to be dry. 32 degrees, that's another change. You'll notice as soon as you walk out the door, it's a lot warmer than it has been, and that's courtesy of this wind out of the southeast at 11 miles per hour. That southerly wind component is going to help to drive temperatures up into the 40s later on this afternoon. 30 right now in Crawfordsville, 33 in Bloomington. Connorsville sitting at 32 degrees currently, and throughout the morning hours, we'll warm to about 36 degrees by 11 a.m. By the time we get to the noon hour, we're looking at 38 degrees, 41 by 2 p.m. And then high temperatures today will be topping off in the low to mid 40s across the area. So that is well above freezing. That is good news because the precipitation does arrive later on this evening. So here we go, hour by hour throughout the day on TrueCast. The snow showers basically slide to the north, really uneventful. Then most of the daytime hours will be dry across the area. 4:30, starting the evening commute home. There could be a stray shower, can't rule that out, but it's really not until after sunset that these showers will start to make their way into the area. But once they do start, they are going to be with us off and on throughout the overnight hour, through the morning commute tomorrow, and through much of the day on Friday. Now, it's not going to be a steady rain Friday. There will be some dry hours mixed in, and most of the rainfall that we do see is going to be very, very light, so we're not concerned about flooding. It's just going to be one of those dreary days where you really just always need to have the umbrella handy. Going into Saturday morning, as the colder air comes back in, there will be the chance of a few snow showers mixing in with little to no accumulation. There could be a coating maybe in spots, and that is just about it. So this is mainly a rain event for us throughout the day tomorrow as temperatures climb up into the 40s. Then as temperatures start to cool off, that's when we'll see the transition over to a little bit of light snow. And the snow showers on Saturday, again, just going to be very spotty across the area here and there. So it's not going to be a widespread potential for any accumulation, but where some of the stronger snow showers do make their way through, again, maybe a coating to a half an inch will be possible. Should not hamper any plans, though, if you do have them on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, mostly cloudy, 38, and then back up into the 40s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lauren?
Todd, thank you so much. Here is a live look right now at I-465 and State Road 37 on the south side of town. You can see traffic is moving along smoothly this morning. No issues to report. So let's take a turn up to the northwest area. This is in Lebanon, I-65 here, just a little south of that. You can see traffic on I-65 is moving along up to speed. We'll continue to keep you updated on any issues. Well, Sunday is no longer a day off for FedEx employees. Starting this week, the shipping company is beginning Sunday ground service. The move comes as FedEx is trying to compete with Amazon and other shippers. FedEx delivered packages on Sundays during the holiday season, but now most Americans can expect to receive orders 7 days a week, year-round. Its competitor UPS also launched Sunday delivery at the beginning of the year.
Experts say access to the 5G internet will be better than ever this year. 5G offers faster speeds and connections and seamless streaming. Right now, all 4 major wireless providers in the U.S. are offering some kind of 5G service. Last month, T-Mobile launched what it calls the first nationwide 5G network. The other 3 providers say they will have coast-to-coast service later this year. And it's not just for your phone. Cars, laptops, tablets, and other technology will one day enjoy the sped up 5G connectivity.
All right. Well, Uber is testing a new feature that would let some of their drivers set their own prices. Drivers with the rideshare could charge up to 5 times the amount that Uber would for a ride. Right now, the feature is just being tested in California. This comes as the state implements a new gig economy law that requires companies to treat workers as employees. No word yet on when or if there will be a national rollout.
We've seen a lot of people go undercover as rideshare drivers, but this one's a little bit different. Coming up, see how actor Will Smith put his own unique spin on the trend.
And coming up all new at 5, it is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. And this morning, we are shining a light on a problem and one organization that is working hard to fix that problem. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with information that could save you or someone else. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, day 2 of the Harvey Weinstein rape trial. We are live in our Court TV studios across the street from the courthouse where Harvey Weinstein on trial, potential life sentence if he is convicted. There are 6 women expected to come into court and testify against him. This could be the day that the first of his accusers takes the stand and tells the jury what Harvey Weinstein did to her. That's all today, right here on Court TV.
Vinny, thanks. Don't forget you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting courttv.com. We'll be right back.
Team 6 working for you.
Welcome back. Saudi Arabia is denying reports that the Crown Prince was behind the hacking of Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos. The hack reportedly happened back in May of 2018, but a report by the United Nations says it was an attempt to, quote, influence and possibly silence the Washington Post, which Bezos also owns. This after the paper reported pieces critical of Saudi Arabia, particularly pieces that were written by the late journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Khashoggi was killed by Saudi agents back in October of 2018. Saudi government has denied any involvement.
A new comedy about Britain's royal family will feature some famous American voices. The upcoming animated series is called The Prince. Orlando Bloom is set to voice Prince Harry. The series looks at the House of Windsor through the eyes of 6-year-old Prince George, the eldest son of Prince William and Kate Middleton, who is 3rd in line for the throne. The show's creator, Gary Janetti, says he got the idea from posts on his popular Instagram page, which featured the young royal appearing to react to news stories. It's pretty funny if you've never seen it. The show will premiere on HBO Max sometime in the spring.
Well, Will Smith is putting a fresh twist on the trend of celebrities surprising rideshare passengers. The rapper and actor went not so undercover as part of a promotional stunt called Bad Boys for Lyft, and allude to Smith's new movie Bad Boys for Life. Needless to say, the unsuspecting passengers were very surprised by their celebrity driver. Take a look.
Hey! I'm your Lyft driver. I don't have all day to be waiting. Get in. What's up? How you doing?
This is super cool. This just got super cool.
What's up, man? Everyone's good, bro. Welcome. How you doing? Dude, I'm doing good. You?
Well, not only did the experience lift their spirits, as you can see, the passengers also received a free year of Lyft rides. Okay.
I would be so
cool
excited if that is who showed up as my driver. That would be so much fun. I think I'd be like, you know what? I'm in no hurry to get to wherever I'm going.
I know I said we're just going 5 minutes, but let's go actually
drive
like an hour.
I got 5 hours. Yeah.
Let's go around the block a couple times.
Yeah, pretty
Maybe
incredible.
the casino and
I need to FaceTime my dad. I need to FaceTime FaceTime all my friends, need a picture. Yeah,
that's too
pretty
cool.
good. All right, let's get a check of the weather with Todd.
All right, it's not a bad morning for us. It's warmer. That's one thing you'll notice as you walk out the door this morning. And it is dry. There is a lot of precipitation, though, just off to our west and to our south. But it's going to take its jolly old time to get in here, as we are going to see showers develop most likely after sunset this evening. But then they're with us throughout much of the day tomorrow. We'll talk more about your extended forecast coming up in the next half hour. Stay with us. We'll be right back.